Okay, so
We're diving into this whole...
stack of stuff about mining, construction, and civil engineering machinery distribution managers.
Okay.
And I'm not going to lie.
That's a mouthful.
And it doesn't really sound like the most,
Thrilling job title.
it does have that industrial
ring to it. But here's where it gets interesting.
When we actually dug into the details,
We found that this role is anything but, boring.
you're basically like the logistical mastermind.
Behind all of those,
Really gigantic machines.
you see,
Where we can mount it.
shaping skylines.
Yeah.
So we're talking about orchestrating the shipment of,
A massive excavator, for example.
let's say.
Germany to a mine in Chile,
That's
playing chess, but on a global scale.
with millions of dollars of equipment as, your pieces.
I think what's really cool about this is it really does require this unique blend of,
Brains and
logistical brawn. You
and
need
the
this
analytical mind of a strategist to kind of navigate all those supply chains.
international trade regulations.
But then you also need...
Top-notch people skills.
It's got to manage all the relationships with the suppliers, the manufacturers.
And everyone in between.
So it really is that high stakes.
Balancing act.
Yeah, and you're not...
Pushing paperwork, are you?
You're not.
These managers really do have a front row seat.
To some of the most...
Impressive engineering feats.
On the planet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine a bridge being built
In Dubai.
using a crane that's come all the way from China.
That is the type of global coordination.
These managers are handling on a daily basis.
They're the unsung heroes.
Behind the scenes, making sure that the right equipment
Gets to the right place at the right time.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
not just making
That's
these
right.
just jaw-dropping mega projects.
In a reality.
Yeah.
So I'm curious then, what does a typical day...
Actually look like for a mining, construction, and civil engineering machinery distribution manager?
Is it all just high-pressure phone calls?
Frantic emails.
At its core, it's all about orchestration.
Okay.
You're the conductor.
And your orchestra is this
Really complex web of manufacturing.
suppliers, shipping
And
companies,
of course, the end users who need all of these.
massive machines.
So you need,
An encyclopedic knowledge of not just the equipment, but also
all of the instruments.
shipping regulations and everything.
Precisely. You're dealing with everything from...
Freight payment methods.
So figuring out how to pay to ship these behemoths across borders.
You're dealing with customs compliance.
Making sure that all the paperwork is in order for those international shipments.
And then, of course, you have to think about,
The complexities of international trade.
maybe even a volcanic eruption that's disrupting a shipping route.
Oh my gosh.
It can get pretty wild.
That is a lot to...
Like Gogol.
It sounds like you need the organizational skills of a chess grandmaster.
Yeah.
The patience of a saint.
You could say that.
So is all of that stress worth it?
Let's talk about the pros and cons of this.
Pretty high impact career path.
Well, I'll tell you this. On the plus side,
This isn't just a job.
it really is a career.
With serious upward mobility.
The construction and mining industries are set to grow in the coming years.
And that means
There's going to be a really consistently high demand.
for these skilled professionals.
And when these sources talk about high earning potential, are we talking like
Substantial figures.
not substantial figures here?
Let's just say you're not going to be clipping coupons anytime soon.
Because it is such a specialized field.
Those are the right skills.
And the experience are highly sought after.
And their compensation definitely reflects that.
That's really good to hear.
Can't all be smooth sailing, though, can it?
I mean, the sources did mention some...
Pretty demanding aspect.
Sure. It's quite demanding.
You're often working under really tight deadlines.
Juggling multiple projects across different time zones. And, of course, you're going to have those unexpected hiccups popping up.
Oh, yeah.
Long hours.
And the occasional weekend work definitely come with the territory.
So you really do need the stamina of a marathon runner.
And nerves of steel for this.
Resilience is key.
But there is immense satisfaction
In seeing a project through to completion.
knowing you played this crucial role.
In building something tangible.
The thing that's going to stand the test of time.
And that is incredibly rewarding.
Okay, so we've established that this is not your average 9 to 5.
But what about the skills themselves?
Is it all about knowing your way around?
A wrench? Or is there more to it than meets the eye?
That's a common misconception.
Well, a basic understanding of the machinery is definitely helpful.
This role is far more about mental agility.
Than brute strength.
Remember all that talk about logistics and global coordination?
Well, that requires some
All those
really
things
sharp...
like circle thinking skills.
We're talking about solving those complex logistical puzzles
Optimizing routes.
and managing budgets. So it's like high-stakes Tetris,
Yeah,
but instead of block.
you're moving million-dollar machines.
Exactly. You have to think on your feet
Make quick decisions under pressure.
and adapt to constantly changing circumstances.
But it's not just about being tough, though, is it?
You're also dealing with people.
A lot of people.
You're absolutely right.
Active listening
Clear communication
and the ability to build strong relationships
are all crucial.
for a successful mining, construction, and civil engineering machinery distribution manager.
And let's not forget negotiation skills.
That's a big one.
I can imagine you need to be quite persuasive.
To get everyone on the same page, from suppliers
Halfway across the world to clients.
who are eager to get those machines. Negotiation and persuasion
are essential skills in this role.
It's not about barking orders.
It's about influencing stakeholders
managing expectations.
and finding those win-win solutions.
You need to be able to articulate your vision.
Build consensus.
And even sometimes
play the role of mediator when things get a little bit heated.
So if you thrive on challenges,
intricate puzzles,
and you don't shy away from a fast-paced environment,
this could really be the career for you.
well, where do you even begin?
Surely you need like a specialized
Engineering degree.
to even get your foot in the door, right?
Not necessarily.
Oh.
While a degree
And a related field like civil engineering,
construction management,
or even business administration
can be beneficial.
It's not always a deal breaker.
Are you saying I could go from like
Selling shoes
to shipping excavators?
it's more common than you might think.
Really?
Remember those core skills we were talking about?
The communication, the problem solving, the organization.
Yeah.
Those are all transferable across industries.
And relevant experience.
In areas like sales, logistics, or distribution can be just as valuable.
Especially at that entry level.
That's actually really encouraging for anyone who's maybe feeling a little bit stuck.
In their current career. And looking for...
Change of pace.
But what does that entry-level role
actually look like?
Do you have an example?
Sure. Let's imagine someone who's just starting out in this field.
They might be assisting
with coordinating distribution activities.
supporting the sales team.
With orders and inquiries, or maybe even doing some market research.
To identify new sales opportunities.
So it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Definitely a crash course in all aspects of the role.
They're going to be building that foundation in the basics.
Learning the ropes.
And most importantly, proving their worth through
Hard work.
and that willingness to learn.
And from there,
The sky is the limit.
the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
As you gain more experience and expertise,
You can climb that ladder to more senior positions,
maybe specializing in a particular type of machinery,
focusing on a specific geographic region
or even eventually managing larger teams.
and more complex projects.
Speaking of the future,
I can't help but wonder how technology
is it going to impact this role?
in the years to come.
That's a good question.
I mean, will we be seeing, like,
Drones delivering bulldozers.
will AI optimize global shipping routes?
Those are fascinating questions.
And they're ones that the industry is already grappling with. Yeah, they really are.
So we're talking about a future where
Instead of these massive cargo ships hauling these machines across oceans,
you're going to have
like fleets of autonomous drones.
just like airlifting
Or
excavators.
remote job sites.
It's certainly within the realm of possibility.
Wow.
We're already seeing technology transforming areas
Those
like
tracking
in
them.
inventory management.
Right.
Remember those logistical puzzles we were talking about?
Yeah.
AI-powered systems are getting incredibly good at
Optimizing all those shipping routes, predicting any potential disruptions.
and even managing inventory levels in real time.
That sounds like it would make a manager's life.
A whole lot easier.
Or at least,
A little less stressful.
in some ways, yes.
But it also means that the skills required to really thrive in this field.
Are changing. So it's not enough to just be like,
A logistics whiz anymore.
you need to
A
be
little bit of a techie, too.
precisely.
Those who embrace continuous learning and stay ahead of that technological curve.
Are going to have a definite edge.
Yeah.
Imagine being able to analyze,
Data from drones to assess, like, job site conditions in real time.
or using virtual reality to train new employees on operating all that complex machinery.
Remotely.
Wow.
These are the kinds of skills.
That are going to be highly
your-
sought after.
It's true what they say.
The only constant,
Is change,
right,
especially in a field.
as dynamic as this one.
But with all this talk of, like,
Automation and AI.
is there a chance that the role of The mining, construction, and civil engineering machinery distribution manager could become...
Obsolete.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
While some tasks will probably that need for human oversight.
For strategic decision-making and for relationship building.
That's not going to disappear anytime soon. So the machines might be getting smarter.
But they're not going to replace
humans.
in this field.
Not if these managers can adapt.
And evolve their skills alongside those advancements.
Hey, think about it.
Who's going to be responsible
for programming those AI systems,
for interpreting the data that they generate,
and for ensuring that they're used ethically
and responsibly?
That's a great point.
It's not about
man vs. machine, man with machine, working together
to achieve even greater things.
The most successful managers in the future, then,
going to be the ones
who can really leverage technology
synergy
to focus on the things that humans
really excel at.
Things like creative problem solving, strategic planning,
and those
all important relationships.
That's all so fascinating.
But what about our listeners who are thinking,
this all sounds really amazing,
but I'm not really sure
I have the right background or experience?
What would you say to them?
I would say, don't count yourself out just yet.
Remember, this field is more accessible
than you might think.
Really?
You don't necessarily need that
specific degree
and relevant experience in related fields.
To be a fantastic
stepping stone.
Okay.
The key is to highlight those
transferable skills,
the communication, the organization, the problem solving,
and then just demonstrate that genuine interest
in the industry.
And maybe drone operating skills, just in case.
Couldn't hurt.
But on a more serious note,
there are some concrete steps
you can take to really increase your chances of breaking into this field.
Okay, let's talk about those next.
What can our listeners do climbing that career ladder?
Well, for starters, never underestimate the power
of networking.
It's all about who you know, right?
Building connections is definitely valuable.
Attending,
industry events,
conferences
is a great start.
Consider joining professional organizations.
Like the Construction Management Association of America?
Or the Association of Equipment Manufacturers.
These are excellent ways to meet people in the field.
Learn about new trends.
And uncover those job opportunities.
Like they say, sometimes it's not what you know.
It's who you know.
Right.
Or in this case,
who knows you.
Exactly.
And that impressive skill set
that you've got.
Don't be afraid to
put yourself out there.
Talk to people.
Ask questions.
You never know where those conversations might lead.
You never know.
And while you're at it, build up that
online presence.
LinkedIn is such a powerful tool.
For showcasing your experience.
And connecting with those recruiters.
And hiring managers.
In industry.
Absolutely.
Networking is key.
But what about, certifications? Are there specific credentials that would give someone
a bit of an edge?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Certifications are a fantastic way to showcase your expertise.
And your commitment to professional development?
A few that come to mind
are the Certified Supply Chain Professional, CSCP,
the Certified Professional in Distribution and Warehousing, CPDW,
and even the Certified Sales Professional, CSP.
If your interest kind of lies in that area,
it all really depends on your specific focus
within the field.
So even without
a traditional 4-year degree,
there are these other paths to boost your credentials
and show potential employers
that you're serious
about this career path.
Precisely. It's about taking ownership of your own career development
and seeking out those opportunities
to learn and grow. This industry is constantly evolving.
So that willingness to adapt
and embrace that continuous learning
is essential.
Yeah, you really have to be on top of everything that's going on.
You really do.
We've covered so much.
We talked about the day-to-day realities, the potential impact of future technologies.
And of course, all of those skills needed
to succeed.
If there's one key takeaway
we want our listeners to remember from this deep dive,
what would it be?
That this career path offers
incredible potential,
both in terms of earning potential
and the opportunity to make
tangible impact.
If you thrive on challenge,
complex problems,
and you're not afraid
of a little hard work,
this could be
the perfect fit
for you.
It's definitely not
average desk job.
It is not.
But for those with the right mix of
skills and ambition,
maybe even a little touch,
adventurous spirit, incredibly rewarding journey.
It can be, yeah. It's easy to get caught up
in all of the logistics
and the technology of it all.
Right.
But at the end of the day,
this role really is about people. I mean, I got to be honest, with all this talk about massive machinery and global supply chains and,
Cutting-edge tech.
I kind of forgot there were actual humans.
Involved in all of this.
It's easy to get lost in the more technical aspects, but you have to remember, behind every excavator, behind every crane,
Behind every piece of equipment.
there's this whole team of people
Who designed it, who built it, who shipped it, and they're ultimately depending on it.
to do their jobs.
So it's not just about understanding the machines themselves.
It's about really understanding,
the people who rely on them.
exactly.
The most successful mining, construction, and civil engineering machinery distribution managers out there, they're the ones who really excel at building those.
Strong relationships. And I mean,
We're
everywhere.
talking about clients, suppliers, engineers, even the people who are actually operating that machinery.
On a job site, maybe halfway around the world.
Right, because you're that
Top.
crucial link in the chain.
You are
You got to make sure that everyone has what they need
when they need it.
to get the job done.
Exactly. It's all about that clear communication, managing those expectations
And finding solutions.
that work for everyone. You have to recognize that even what might seem like
A really tiny paperwork error
an errand
could have these huge ripple effects.
across continents,
Wow.
it could
A
bring
massive construction project.
to a grinding halt.
So there's like a surprising amount of, I don't know,
Rush.
that comes with this role.
There is.
Because you're not just coordinating,
Logistics.
you're coordinating like
People, timelines.
that really the success of these projects.
that could literally shape and impact communities for generations to come.
It's true. It's that high stakes, high reward kind of career path.
Yeah.
It really requires this
A very unique blend of,
logistical prowess.
technical savvy and those good old-fashioned
Tickles.
skills.
That is a really interesting takeaway. This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening. And
We started with a job title,
that, let's be honest, sounded a little
dry.
It did.
But we've uncovered this whole world of,
Complexity, global impact, and
at
surprisingly,
the heart. Who knew that?
orchestrating the shipment of a massive excavator.
Could be so,
Human.
it's been a real pleasure exploring these nuances with you.
Absolutely. And for our listeners,
If this conversation has maybe piqued your interest, even just a little bit,
don't let it end here. There are so many resources out there.
online and beyond,
Think professional organizations, industry publications, online forums,
you could even try,
reaching out directly to people who are in the field.
who knows? You might just find yourself orchestrating the delivery of a massive excavator, some remote corner of the world,
You never know.
playing a vital role.
In building something truly remarkable.
You never know where your curiosity might lead you.
And on that note, it's a wrap on today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring.